Hello and welcome to another update for my Mets Realm theme team, Out of the Park Baseball 25 Perfect Team. And this is a hopeful update, and that's because we are in a new league since last time. We're in the year 2034 for our franchise, and the Iron League, we were in the Stone League last time, and so we're hoping to get better success this season. So let's get right to it. I'm not going to waste any time, like always. Like recently, I should say, this is going to be a more quicker version than the ones in the beginning that you might have seen if you've seen them before. So, yeah, let's get right to it and talk about my team. And also, I have a fan going in the background, so you might be hearing that. So don't be too alarmed if you hear a little noise in the background. So anyway, let's get to our pitching. So the title of this episode is about our ace, because our ace was an ace. Noah Syndergaard, our latest investment, was a 2.89 ERA with 14 wins, 11 losses, which is very impressive, and I'm very glad that he turned out to be worth it. And yeah, so that's a pretty good showing for our best pitcher. Now, our other pitchers, not so great. Craig Swan, the records are pretty bad, but I'm actually going to go through some of their performances too, because for some of these guys, the game log is actually not as horrible as the stats might show. It's one of those kind of seasons. So for Craig Swan, he was 6-17 with a 5.29 ERA, and so not great. 5 ERA is not great, and so but let's get to the game log, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. So he started off pretty rocky, giving up 6 earned runs, and he never really dropped his ERA at any point to a very good number. He got his ERA down to like 4.9 at some point, but giving up a lot of 4 runs, and he's had like very mixed results, just bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. So never really had a whole lot of great outings in a row, but he did have this stretch in July. Here's a stretch right here. July 16th, 5.6 ERA, and a lot of outings where he gave up 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 3 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs over 5, then 4 over 5, and then so his ERA is sort of hovering at like, just to give you a like going from 5.54 to 5.59 to 5.42 to 5.36 to 5.35 to 5.35 to 5.35 to 5.40. So he kind of held steady in that portion of in the latter half of the season. So not as bad as he was in the beginning, but he was sort of mediocre to the end. His performances were better than they might appear. So even though he racked up a lot of losses, a lot of 3 earned run games, gave up 4 earned runs in September 3rd, and then he gave up 3, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 2. So yeah, his ERA finished at 5.29. Could never really put huge performances out there. So yeah, very weird season for Craig Swan. I was hoping he would be better, but we'll see how he is next season. So Bobby Ojeda, probably one of my more disappointing ones. I expected more from him. 4-12 with 4.42 ERA. And I will go to his game log just to take a glance. I don't think it's anything crazy to really highlight. He's just really bad to start, and then didn't quite start doing well. Then he had a decent stretch of 4 games where he gave up 4 starts, where he gave up 1, then 2, then 1, then 2 in June. And then had some bad ones, and then he had a decent stretch again in August for 4 starts in a row, giving out 1, then 2, then 1, then 2. And then he finished the season with 4 starts where he gave up 0, 3, 2, 2. So not particularly great for Ojeda. I was hoping he would be better than that. And finished with a 4.42 ERA. Started off pretty slow, but this is kind of the story of my season. And so now we go to Frank Viola with a 4.34 ERA, 7-14. Let's go take a look at that. That's let's see. Let's see. 4 runs, 3 runs to start, putting his ERA at around 4 within 4 starts. And then he kind of, gave up 6 earned runs in end of April, ballooned his ERA to 4.54. Then he kind of found some success, giving up 0, 2, then a bad start with 5, then 2, then 0, then 2, then 0 through June, and then he had a really bad stretch, giving up 4, 5, 4, 6, then 7, ballooning his ERA to 4.64, and then he had another decent stretch, not great stretch, and then he gave up 5 again. Then to end the season, he gave up 5 earned runs, and he gave up 5 earned runs in 2 consecutive starts, followed by a good start to end the season. So a 4.34 ERA, a lot of losses. You can see a lot of red on the right side here. Not good. Not good. So, yeah, this Bobby Ojeda. Let's go to our pitching staff again. And our fifth spot was started by Ron Darling, who's in the pen right now. It's got a 6.06 ERA. And so let's see how his pitching started, which was horrible. So here it is right here. 6 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 7 earned runs, 4 earned runs. That put his ERA at 12.79, which is probably the worst ERA I think that any of my guys have had in, 5 starts? Pretty bad. So rather than wait, I decided, you know what, we got to pull the plug. We got to pull the plug here. And so I decided to put Ron Darling in the bullpen. He wasn't amazing for whatever reason. He gave up a bunch of runs there. But he did go from a 12 ERA to a 6.06 ERA. So it is what it is. I was expecting more from Ron Darling. I could upgrade him more. I'll think about whether to start him next season. We'll see. Have to make that call later on after this. Now, our 5th starter that took over was Severino, who finished the season 3-13 with a 5.10 ERA, and I actually wasn't too disappointed in him because he started off okay. I had Severino in the pen to start, so that's why his ERA, let's see. So he started in May. And so he entered the rotation with a 4.72 ERA from the bullpen. And then his starts were pretty good to begin with. He gave up 3 earned runs, then 1, then 1, then 0, then 0, then 1. And then he had a bad one, 2 bad ones in a row, giving up 5 and 6. And then he had a few so-so starts, giving up 3 over 5 and 4 innings. Over 5 innings, and then another over 4 innings. Then he had a string of 3 bad starts with 5.65 earned runs, ballooning his ERA of 5.31. And then he had a bunch of bad starts in a row, giving up 4 earned runs. Then he had a 6 earned run start in August. And then he had some good starts in a row, giving me up 3, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 1. A good stretch in September, and then he ended the season giving up 5 earned runs, ballooning his ERA to 5.10. So he's a 5th starter. Didn't really expect much from him. It was a latch-ditch thing. So my expectations were low to begin with. So we'll figure out that 5th spot. Later on before tomorrow's season starts. So let's go to the pen. Here's a surprising closer, Ottavino, who's not pitching well in real life right now, and so there's actually a great chance that this card is going to be worse tomorrow, which is disappointing. Because the live update is tomorrow. So we got Ottavino with a 3.05 ERA and 27 saves, which I'm very happy about. Surprising, but if you've seen my videos before, my philosophy is to go with the hot hand and then stick with them and keep switching roles until they work out. So Ottavino ended up holding on to the closer spot. So not too upset with the results considering who it is and what happened. Orozco was bouncing between setup and middle relief all season, finished with 2.93 ERA. Very impressed with him. He's a combinator card, only upgraded once. He can go up to this point, fully upgraded. So, but he's like this right now. So, I'm kind of happy about Orozco, and I'm probably going to want to upgrade him pretty soon again. So, that's that. 2.93 ERA. He was kind of shaky to begin with, but he finished strong, which is the most important thing. So, yeah. Jake Diekman. All right, so now the rest of the pitchers were kind of off and on, and so I shuffled around a lot of guys. Dwight Gooden got shuffled around a lot. Danny Frisella with 4.99 ERA. He got bounced up and down between setup and reliever. Ultimately, he just ballooned out of control with a 4.99 ERA, so I had to dump him, fortunately, into middle relief, avoid high leverage. You can't see that on your screen, but he's avoid high leverage. And Roger McDowell, I'm very disappointed in him because, look, I invested a lot into him already. He's got all this. He's upgraded 2 times, so, but he can get as good as this. So I'm probably gonna put more into him because he needs to be useful. But I did notice that this stuff is not up, so I'm not sure what that is about. If it's just a visual bug or if his card is broken. If you're watching, anyone from Perfect Team, or if you're a fan of the game, if this is a visual bug or not, because he's a gold card, it should be a lot higher, these different pitches. So anyway, yeah, going back to the pen, Brooks Raley did not have a good season, 5.93 ERA, and very disappointed. He's actually not going to really move much. I think he's out for the season on the Mets. I think he's out for the season. I'm not positive. So his card is not going to get better, this live card. So it is what it is. And his control, I think his control was a little better before. Might have to tweak my relief settings. Okay, and then yeah, Jake Diekman, 4.50 ERA. He was kind of hovering throughout the season. This is what his card looks like. Let me go check his game log, because I know he started off okay. So he had a 3.18 ERA going through May 25th. And then he kind of just collapsed from there. But then he kind of had a stretch where he got back down under 4 in July. And then, when did it go wrong? It went wrong, what is this, August through September. He was just inconsistent and not that great. But I ended up keeping him at setup because look at my other choices. Look at my other choices over here. Not too bright here. So 4.90. Dwight Gooden wasn't doing it. Brooks Raley wasn't doing it. McDowell wasn't doing it. Danny Frisella wasn't doing it. Maybe I could just go with one setup person, but I don't know. I usually like having a 7th inning and an 8th inning guy, so yeah. Disappointing for my pitching other than Syndergaard. And I want to go back to Syndergaard with that 2.89 ERA because that is a big one. And it's big for a reason that you'll find out very shortly. So let's go to the lineups. So here's my lineup to end the season. My lineups, I'm not going to read them through. You can take a look. You'll notice a new card here that I haven't used yet. JD Martinez. I used him at the end of the season because Pete Alonso wasn't doing a whole lot for me. So I wanted to try out a new card just to end the season. So he only has a few at-bats. So let's go to the stats. Okay, so Magadan, 284 average. Can't complain about Dave Magadan. Got what I expected from him. 3 homers, 59 RBIs. Pretty much what you would expect. Dom Smith, 13 homers, 77 RBIs, 264 average. I guess I should be okay with that. Not a whole lot of homers. He is a combinator card, so I can upgrade him if I want. Not sure if I want to make that investment just yet. All right. JD Martinez, as I mentioned earlier, only played 9 games at the end, but he batted .263. Not a horrible showing. He's also a bronze card. So, but his stats are actually not horrible for a bronze. So, he was in the DH spot. So, hopefully, his card gets upgraded in this update. And now, who else? Marte. Oh yeah, Drew Gilbert. I had him in there. He batted 256. But his splits, let's see his splits. 257 and 253. Lefty 253, righty 257. Yeah, not that great. He was actually doing okay in the beginning, but then he kind of fell off. Starling Marte, 12 homers, 54 RBIs. Let's see. 246. He was doing okay in the beginning, but kind of fell off. His splits, 217 lefties, 257 righties, and he was hitting for a better average most of the season. And here's Jose Reyes, 236 average. He was generally okay versus lefties most of the season, and he batted 270 versus lefties and 198 versus righties. So I actually made him. I started him out as a platoon with Lindor, but then I ended the season with Reyes batting against righties just to see if I gave him more at bats, if he would do well, and he did not. So that's interesting to note. And that's because Lindor did not play well. Only 7 homers and batted 219. But the guy that was surprising to me, that I had low expectations, my catcher, Duffy Dyer. He did 224 average, but he did give me 15 homers, which is more than I would have expected, and 49 RBIs. So, and he's upgraded 3 times. Before he was like this. You see the hitting stuff at the bottom, but now he's upgraded up to here, and his hitting is kind of so-so, but he's the catcher, low expectations. So as long as he helps the pitching, that's all I really care about. But that was a very pleasant surprise. And then Ronnie Mauricio didn't have a good year. 13 homers, 52 RBIs, and Howard Johnson, 22 homers, 78 RBIs. Lindor, like I said, didn't have a good season. You can look on your screen. Roger Cedeno, I put him in at the end of the season, and he did not have a good season for the short time he was, but I might start him for the next season. So now, I'm sure you're wondering, how well did my team do? So I'm going to reveal the results. Now that you have seen everything, you can take your guess. I'm going to reveal the results in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So my team ended up with a measly 61 wins and 101 losses. But the real question, did I get relegated? That's a big one, right? Well, let's go take a look. I did not get relegated. I finished 2 games above relegation, above 3 teams below me by 3 teams. So I managed to just survive relegation. And the reason why that Noah Syndergaard card is so valuable to my team is because if I didn't have that card, I would have probably been relegated with whoever was in that spot instead. And I'm going to go show you my the pitching over here. My Noah Syndergaard tied for the lead in ERA. So he was the ace. He was the ace of the league, and he had the highest WAR of the league by a lot, by a 5 points, so pretty much 6.4 and 5.9 to 5.9 second place. So So this was a very, very good season for my Syndergaard, and shows the value in having an ace on your staff. So kept my team afloat. We're going to be in the Iron League again coming up. And let me just show you the Albany Yaks won the league. I was in a very bad division. The team that won my division only won 86 games. So I actually wasn't eliminated from the playoffs going into September, so that was kind of interesting. And then we go to the team stats. I started off 9-18, then 10-19, 7-18. Yeah, 9-18 in April, 10-19 in May, 7-18 in June, 7-18 in July, 15-11 in August, 11-16 in September. So take a look at where I am here. Take that screenshot. And yeah, Iron League. 4 teams go up, 4 go down. So that's pretty much it for this season. There's a new update, a live update coming out next season into 2035. And I hope that that my cards get better, that some of my live cards get better, that I can use them, like my JD Martinez and several of my other cards. So I'm hoping for that. I expect Edwin Diaz, he's a perfect card right now, to go down to Diamond. I'll be shocked if he didn't, and I'll be able to add him to my pen, which should make it better. So this should be a very interesting week. As you can see, I've got 223 packs. I will be doing another pack opening at the end of the week, so look out for the pack opening after sometime after a few days after you see this video. Well, maybe more than a few days, like 5 days. By the weekend, I should probably have a pack opening video up. It's a very busy video game week if you're following video games outside of this. So I'm going to try to have that pack opening video at the end of the week. So check it out on the channel. Anyway, that's it for this update, my Metro theme update. I'm holding on by a thread. My enthusiasm is still barely there. This is going to be a big week to see how well my team can hold on and if we're going to continue this way. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Much appreciated. I also have a newsletter if you want to support me. It's going to be putting out some new stuff, talking about indie games and what I'm going to be doing moving forward and all that jazz. It's a free newsletter. I'm not going to jam your inbox or anything like that. So this is the best way to support me so that I can get enough subscribers on Substack. And yeah, that I'd greatly appreciate it if you supported me that way. And so yeah, that's it for this update. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.